thought you were going to say I hate Lilo and Stitch. What kind of maniac hates Lilo and Stitch? The last animated masterpiece from Disney. Hand-drawn masterpiece.
I've never watched it. I'll be honest, John.
You're a monster. Your kids will. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it, Mike. You're gonna watch it because you've got 2 girls, Mike. They're gonna watch it.
No, I won't. I won't.
I guess you just don't want to spend time with your children. It's a good film. Yeah. You're gonna watch it, Mike. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Just don't watch the live action crap that they're shoveling out. You know, let's pretend that doesn't exist yet. Watch the drawn. It's really good. Trust me.
I would have. I was a kid, John. I just wasn't interested. It just didn't look that good to me. Anyway, moving on.
There's a lot that says about taste right there, Mikey. It's deep rooted. It's not a recent thing. Smoked.
Oh. I feel like one day you'll just pay for me to visit a psychiatrist and see what's wrong with me. The Baboka, here we go. They found the Tusk. Shard's block is nice though. I ain't gonna find really DM that can chase him down, and so he's gonna be just fine.
The battle begins.
Yep. 2 for 2 back.
Really nice
trade, Jonathan. Nothing too surprising here.
Nice break from Baboka. You know, that does cut out the flanking move PARIVISION did want to take. They do still manage to get some really forward wards into the triangle to spot out stacks, to spot out when that pause 4 will walk away. Chances are Baboka is just going to be pulling anyhow. So whether or not you get full value from that, who knows? But again, a chance to contest at the very least there. You do have a nice sneaky set of mid wards. Lots of emphasis on the mid here from the side of Yakult brothers, right? They're securing Emo. They've got the left side ward. They've got the right side ward as well, a little bit deeper, closer to Rosh. But this Storm shouldn't pick up anytime soon. And in this 1v1 matchup for Emo and no one, this should be a pretty decent time for the Storm. Again, you've got the reach, you've got the static slide remnant to kind of play with, you've got constant overload being spammed out. It can be a little bit tougher for that Tiny early on. You do have creep clear with tree grab, you've got crash landing, so once you get points in the avalanche toss, there is a threat if Emo oversteps, but it's going to take a lot of levels to get that done. And Emo should be fairly happy with his lane in that interim period. Once he has the bottle up, going to be able to sustain through. I'm curious to see if PARIVISION will put more emphasis on water runes. They're the one team that has been really good at the 4-minute, 6-minute rune. That's the one moment where no one probably pulls ahead at that point if their positioning is just right for that contest.
How's the side lanes going? I mean, bottom lane, Satanic, having a grand old time, just trading harassment with Baboka and beyond. This is a pretty scary lane in some sense because you've got the classic Enigma Tusk lane, so things can get pretty scary if you're Ducalis. Satanic, I don't think he's too concerned. Like, once you hit the level 2 mark, which he does, as long as you have waveform, you're going to be perfectly fine if they do catch you. That devastating combination probably going to be a little bit scarier for Ducalis than say, Satanic.
It would be. Ducalis is just kind of hanging the side, ensuring that Baboka has to work for the blocks and work for the pulls that he'd want if he'd want to soak up that way. You are fine with Beyond just standing in the lane though with the Eidolons. No easy clear here early on. So you are getting full value in just finding CS, finding some free harass that way, at the least. Satanic, again, not too worried in that lane. Not finding like free farm just yet, especially in comparison to Fly up top, who has been finding all the farm in the world. There's not much pressure from DM yet. Again, he has some poke potential with that Cinder Brew, but you can't really play off of that. You have 9 class running that Tinker top. It's not the most natural lane combination for the Brewmaster either. There is that sustain that can come in, and the mischance onto Fly will start to stack up with Brewmaster plus Tinker on hand. It's just melting through early refraction doesn't seem like their highest priority. They just want to stabilize the lane, prevent pulls, and ensure that the EXP flows here for DM, which it is flowing quite nicely with 9 class being a nuisance.
It is. Mid lane, no one really starting to provide a lot of harassment the way of Emo now, but Emo's still keeping on farm parity. Top lane's been very annoying because 9 class obviously just has been spamming March the Machines over and over again, and it's kind of hard for Fly and Ollie to feel comfortable when they're trying to farm in a March of the Machine spam. Nice little pull there from 9 class as well. As Fly trying to pull the creep wave back, but we'll miss a couple of creeps. No kills so far this game either. I think the closest we've actually gotten is mid lane, ironically enough. There's nobody's dying, though Satanic bottom is dropping low, but does waveform away. We'll just get right back into the farm, just farm of the Eidolons, and yeah, again, I don't really see the Morphling dying in this laning stage.
No. Already at the double
Maybe
great
mid.
band as well to cover it. Yeah.
They're trying onto 9 class, but Emo's dropping low on that March of the Machine. They'll continue trying to fight this one out with the Tinker, but 9 class actually able to secure first blood as they will snowball in. They will at least trade for that life of Emo, but obviously a very worthwhile trade here for PARIVISION.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about when this laning phase broke out. PARIVISION are one of the best teams in contesting 4-minute and 6-minute water lanes. They're up there early, they're setting up for these kills. Baboka runs in a little bit late. The water rune's denied away from Emo, so he doesn't have that extra top up in that fight. No one... I mean, you do get the reset for Emo, but no one still finds the other water rune anyhow, so he has some mana to play with in the lane. He's level 5 with Crash Landing. Lots of damage if he gets into position. And that is something that you have to respect now for Emo. So, a nice little start for the side of Parry. You're getting everything you'd want on mid. You are still finding good farm down bot, no threat onto Satanic. You are having a little bit of a rougher time top for DM. Again, you are finding extra farm for Fly, but that is to be expected when you are playing a Brewmaster with a Tinker. It's very passive, to say the least. The missed chances are annoying for Fly. It's really not enough to stop that TA from farming up fully, though. Yeah.
Radiant's
DM could think about going for Fly, but does think better of it. Bottom lane again, still pretty passive here, beyond finding plenty of farm on this Enigma, but that's something you kind of expect from this hero. It doesn't really lack any kind of farm, as Satanic going to try and move in and just fight over some creeps. Again, just can strength morph and walk away every single time they try to make a play onto him. 9 class has joined in at this bottom lane, so they are thinking about setting up onto perhaps beyond. The issue is I don't know how you're going to hold him down. He's already got those drums up as well, so he's not exactly the softest target. What? 9 class, Baboka, they're going to spot each other eventually. Seeing that the 9 class kind of getting caught by Baboka, they won't continue. In fact, 9 class is the one to go down as Emo just rotates immediately.
Could gun
Can
for a
they
little
get
bit more.
Oh, they'd love Ducalis at least. Ducalis trying to hide in the tree line, not going to make it out, and there should be another freebie for Emo. In fact, Beyond will be the one to take it, but nonetheless, it'll be a freebie. And with a siege creep up at the 5-minute mark, they can happily just go after this tier 1 tower. It seems like it will be a nice early one.
Yeah, nice and clean so far for the side of the Yakult brothers. Like, they are getting these rotations in timely manner. They're applying pressure to Satanic's lane. He is still farming up a storm, but they are finding some weaknesses. They are, you know, kind of isolating away. These 2 supports, again, just a little bit passive for PARIVISION. Not much you can really expect. DM can't help until at least the level 6 is up, which he will find soon. But you've gotten probably the best result you could ask for your Yakult brothers, again, in these lanes. Every single one, all of these cores above their equivalents on PARIVISION side. A slower start overall for Parry. And the Yakult brothers, this is exactly what they need. Again, you're running a TA draft. You have this tempo you want to meet. You want to kind of align that with, say, Emo getting some decent timing onto his small, medium items first, like, say, a Kai or a Witchblade, which he is set to farm up pretty quick as well with his pacing. The one thing that you really want now is just the levels on Ollie. Like, into that level 6 is going to be so important. They are scouting out stacks, but it's Emo by himself walking in.
Emo and Power Rune's going to spawn as well. Emo going to hope that it spawns bottom. No one will not get lucky. It does end up spawning bottom by the looks of it. Regen for Emo. He'll be very happy with that. Not that he really needs it, John. He's got a coddle right behind him at all times, but it doesn't matter. Still very handy. And so far, so good if you're the side of your Yakult brothers, John. Like, you look at the net worth graph, and all 3 cores of your Yakult, they are at the top, and it seems like they are pretty comfortable so far. Even just the scoreboard their way as well. Nothing really to be afraid about here for your Yakult brothers.
And again, this plays into their timing really nicely. You've got the steady build-up for Fly into his Dragonlance, and then he's just one item left to kind of be online in that early portion of the TA's power spike. You've got Beyond just working into the auras nicely. Like you said, drums are already up earlier on, Pipe coming up next, mitigating a ton of that burst you're looking for with No One and this Avalanche Toss combination. And even some of that utility out from the supports as well, nullified with a little bit of that Pipe coming in down mid.
Moving in. What they got? Emo. He's alright, just easy zip away. It's another thing against this Storm, like you really don't have the strongest lockdown. You know, it's basically Tiny and Brewmaster. Not the greatest opportunity to try and really lock down Emo and take him out.
No.
Like, it's pretty rough. Unless you can land like a cold feet, you don't really have the answers here to actually keep these guys down.
No. Yeah, you've got to be on point with like the cold feet Avalanche Toss combo, and even then, there's still that window for Emo to get out. They did try in that last engagement. It's just not enough for the Storm. And that's the big weakness here for Parry. Emo is going to be running around like this for most of the game. Even with DM and Split, if you isolate away the Storm, well, you're leaving angles for the TA, you're leaving angles for this Enigma to try to play. Oh.
Jump in, Emo again, looking to try and go after No One. And this time he's got help around him, so No One. Sitting Duck going down to Ollie now. I'll tell you what, again, your Yakult brothers, it just seems like they've got literally nothing to worry about so far, at least this game. And here come the shenanigans, John. Ollie's level 6 now off of that kill, so the stupidity starts.
And it does. Just topping up Emo. And a bit of a battery in the back. They've got room to shove in onto that mid-tier 1. There's going to be no defense yet from Parry. They just need so much more time. Right, like Satanic's working onto the Vlads. The Vlads alone also is just not the power spike for the Morph to join in. You're gonna need some stat padding items first. You do need that blink up on No One, and it has been stalled out. Bottom network core in this game, marginally behind DM right now. And you just don't have that threat. You have to see the space out. And a 4K lead early on for your Yakult brothers. Again, it's worrying for the side of PARIVISION, because this is leading into Fly and this Desolator time. There's been no pressure on that TA top. No movement, because you just don't have the items. You need that blink. You need to find that angle in. These two supports on Parry can't set up fights by themselves. And you don't have that mobility. You don't have that initiation on PARIVISION to get anything done early. Your Yakult brothers do have to kind of keep this tempo up, though. Because if you do allow that recovery on PARIVISION, like say Satanic gets that free ride from Vlad's into a Manta, nice and quick, without contest, trouble can still rise up. But that should kick into gear around the time Fly finishes up the Deso, which isn't too far off. Part left, 1.6k gold, has all the space up top, even has his tier 1 to still farm the creep wave as well. Side of Parry's just constantly grouped up as well. Like, they're not really finding anything for these group ups. It's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. Emo's going to find an arcane rune in the meantime. You know, I think you're in a pretty awkward situation right now for PARIVISION, because you need at least a couple of items up before you can start making these moves. Like, at least have a blink up on No One to really be able to initiate. Even just the Radiance on DM might help in the middle of these fights, but before these items are up, I don't think we're going to be seeing too much action from PARIVISION. Emo might run into Satanic. They are right near each other. Like, they will miss out for now. Beyond and Baboka also slowly moving in. I don't believe they actually saw the morph, and even if they did, it probably would still be a bit too hard of a kill to actually try to hope for. So once again, they retreat, and I even wonder if your Yakult brothers are at all worried about this Morphling matchup later on. You know, because they do have a TA Enigma Storm. Like, they might just make the argument that they could just play as late as PARIVISION wants.
It's fair. I think in a vacuum on a 1v1 for the TA, Morph would win. With all of this utility backing you up and the lack of team fight for Parry, it can get tricky to look at those late game fights, let's say at 35 minutes in. We started like the later portion of the game. It can be a little bit tricky to find those angles in. They are going for the smoke out now on Yakult Brothers. They've got that Witchblade we were talking about on Emo. He has even more sustain and a little bit more damage coming in as well. See what kind of targets they find. A little bit blind going forward. They do have one sneaky ward.
Satanic. Zip in, Satanic, already strength morphing, but he's not the tankiest with that level 2 attribute shift, so Satanic needs to be somewhat careful as he's still trying to waveform down towards the south with the zip forward from Emo with the Vortex to cancel the TP, and Satanic's gone. Satanic is down. He just did not have enough strength in the tank, and Emo, he knew he could just keep it going with that Arcane Rune that was active. And guess what, Johnny? He's basically full mana again.
That is so dumb to watch. That I was just watching. It's like, less than half mana. Recall Chakra. Yeah, just back to full. No problems. Double damage. Amp damage as well for Fly. And instantly you're seeing power of that Coddle combination. Right, you top up the Storm. You drag in this TA to help clean up. You get that timing now into the Deso, into the Roche. And this is that concern for Parry. Like, this is the moment where you've got 2 out of 3 of those consistent TA items up. Fly is strong. He's got the output for his team. And there's still no answers from PARIVISION. You've got that blink ready on no one, at least. But that also lines into this pipe timing from Beyond. So even if you manage to get that avalanche toss with Crash Landing, if Beyond's around with a pipe, the barrier probably is enough to let these heroes escape. And there's a lot of questions to be asked here on Parry. How long do you want to play this game? Like you were mentioning, the Radiance on DM is going to help a tad bit, especially up against Fly. You know, that mischance can make it nightmarish even for the Eidolons as well, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Like, you are very exposed here as a Brewmaster in your split. You know, your level 20 talent's a long ways off. The TA has enough damage to clear out those Brewlings if you're not careful with the Micro here for DM, which he is a magnificent Brewmaster player, to be fair. So whether or not that's a concern, probably not as much, but it's still something the TA can do even on accident, just clearing out these Brewlings. And for Parry, I mean, the big blessing is just that, you know, Satanic died one time. He's still farming up, still within striking distance of the farm of the Yakult Brothers cores. Just Fly is pulling ahead quicker and quicker. It's now to even find the Tormentor for free. So the 2 big objectives on the map going with no contest. And now it's always the Coddle. Always.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's coded in. I'm telling you. Like it's a bug or something. It's Ducalis. We'll go down. Emo's now going to really feel the effect of Ollie. Look at this, John. It's just... everyone's here. You know? And why is it every game the Tormentor just gives it for free? Straight to the Coddle. Like, it must be a bug or something. He keeps getting it.
Yeah, I don't know. It should be a 50-50. I feel like that coin flip has just gone Coddle either way. The game's been rigged. It's a one-sided coin. Same sides on both ends for that coin flip. And to be fair, I mean, you know, you'd want for your Cult Brothers, because I don't think Baboka's shard is all too useful. The deeper shard doesn't really stop the Morphling. But still, you know, getting it for free every single time. It should be coded that Coddle cannot get his... He can't get his shard through Tormentor, you know, he has to buy it. That could be one way to balance it, you know. Certain heroes cannot get shard from Tormentor. Coddle. And only Coddle on that list.
Only Coddle. That's it. Oh, he's got it now. So again, the stupidity starts. Smoke popped. It might look like there's only 2 of them, but not for long. John, here we go. They've got 4 together. They might find no one if they run directly south. They'll pop the drums and no one has no idea they're coming. The jump is there. They jumped the wrong way. No one. Can he make it out? No, he cannot. Emo finds him. And this is another reason why I get so surprised is this combination gets to be given away as well. Because once the shards is up on Ollie, right? Nowhere on the map is safe anymore. No. Like literally nowhere on the map is safe.
No.
Suddenly this free top.
It reminds me of the last room we were casting as well, right? Like kind of rally where people were just not banning this combo as well. It looks like it's the same thing happening here. To catch a 9 class out, this is satisfying at least.
It is. 9 class. Oh, you had to say it, didn't you, John?
Oh, what a hero!
Was that satisfying for you, John? Were you satisfied?
If you're a Tinker player, you're satisfied. If you're 9 class, you're satisfied. You're so satisfied. Look at that. Just get the barriers going. bail out. Who cares? Ah,
What a stupid
what a hero. We've got
What a dumb
two heroes that are amazing. Two
Look
amazingly
at this.
smart heroes in this game. Like,
Look at this.
wow.
This is so stupid.
Wow.
Oh, you're right. No worries.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Emo, jumping in onto Satanic, but this time it's a low. Thing is, John, he doesn't really mind just wasting his mana, right? Because it's he's got an infinite mana glitch right now with Ollie, so it doesn't really matter.
It's free real estate. He even has the Eternal Shroud. So if he gets Avalanche Shots, he gets even more mana. Like, I love this. I love this. Emo is thinking outside the box. This item has been labeled as garbage by everyone, hasn't it? Since the nerfs. It still does work.
Yeah.
And it's really good into the AA, into the Tinker, into the Tiny. It's a really good game for it. So I like seeing this out for Emo. Not that he needs more mana, but hey, extra magic res is nice.
Fine class.
This
We get
time,
that satisfaction this time, John. Are we going to be satisfied? Yes, we are. Consider me satisfied, John. I'm a happy man.
it took a lot of effort though. That Tinker is tanky. They've got some room on parry to siege mid tier 1 as the bot is just being shoved in by Beyond with his drums in the upper lawns. Got enough damage. Will force the 40 out as well. But 1-8 for Yakult Predators as PARIVISION have not found a way to play the game yet. Again, kind of down to draft. A bit of a smiley out. All right.
What did Emo do now? What's he done this time? You know you can't all chat against this guy. That's dangerous, Jonathan. You can't do that.
And he's got the Imperia voice lines to counteract, and even stronger than the question marks, Mike. He stepped up his game. Got
He
the
did.
Tet on hand. I mean, Emo's been popping off. I don't know if you can really taunt him at this point. 13 galvanized stacks up. 3-1-5. We haven't found a kill. Maybe this is a kill.
Well, it's a big one if they get it. Flyfly is currently in the middle of nowhere taking a T1 tower and he's just dead.
Okay.
Well, see, these are the kind of things where I'm like, well, why are we doing that, boys? It's DM now chasing down Emo. Emo obviously going to be okay. They really don't have the lockdown for him. But yeah, Flyfly dying like that, I mean, he's top of the net worth board. That was like a 1.5k gold influx to PARIVISION just off that one death that was basically gifted to them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you give freebies like that, you know, it doubles the kill PARIVISION from 1 to 2. Massive increase for them. Again, it's the most valuable hero you could possibly hope to kill Emo. I feel a little bit cognizant of the game state right now, and you call Twitter or win. You don't want to bleed that win away or bleed that gold away. Satanic's nipping for heals. I mean, he's finding farm. No one is still to grow. He is going to BKB, I believe. It's the full BKB flying in, so he's got protection now from all of that magic damage coming in here as well.
Alright.
And he can tank through the physical output of the TA as well. Just with the grow, with that craggy exterior, innate as well. A lot of damage reduction that can come in. Oh,
Jump in. Who they got? It's going to be the Tiny. No one. Popping his BKB, but the shards just locked him in here from Baboka. Oh, that's not a nice way to die, Johnny. He'll try to run. He's got a TP, but he's got no way to use it right now, as he will be forced to just turn and toss Baboka away. That's a big death here for PARIVISION once again, and sadly for no one, he uses his 9-second charge on top. So not only does he not survive, but that 9-second charge is now gone.
oh. DM.
That's a big one. If they can get it, he will split. Oh no, that's the black hole committed by Beyond. Was that the first one of the game? I think it
Yep.
was.
It was
Ducats
with his
is down.
BKB as well. What is this game? Oh, that is such a good forced move, though. That's an excellent forced move out from DM. But good lord, that is not a good feeling for
mean-
Beyond.
Is it a forced move, John, if he used it for the first time in 23 minutes? So we do go for 9 class. 9 class? Surely gonna die eventually, as they do finally take him out. 2 to 11, Jonathan. We've broken 10 kills again.
Yeah, we have in a record time of 23 minutes. Action-packed game on hand. You know, we've had some BKBs used. We've had some points used. By the way, those
Amazing stuff.
were both really just 9 seconds. Literally just got delivered. For, at least no one was literally fresh off the curtain. So really not a great feeling to have to do that. But okay. 7k lead now for Yakult Brothers. The trifecta of items for the TA all done. Full Hurricane Strike, Deso plus Blink going into the MK next to counteract that Radiance mischance. And the mischance from the laser. Smoke out though. Parry, maybe time to get some action going. Got the Manta style along with the Eagle Song for Satanic. There is some damage to play with here. You just need to find the right target. They don't have the forward vision to scout. To try to find something big here.
Here we go. Vision. We're going to find Beyond. Beyond immediately popping his BKB, trying to run. He's got the pipe up as well. Beyond, he's gonna not make it. Satanic with the right click, getting just enough damage in to finish off the job. I feel very, very nice now for PARIVISION, who can finally look towards maybe that bottom tier 1 tower. And I suppose Satanic, he is approaching the mark now as the Morphling, where he can start to finally join his team, especially once the butterfly is completed.
Yeah. His output is insane. And this is the point where Morphling starts to become a little bit of an equalizer. Right? Like Yakult Brothers, they've got the Roche to wait out on. They know exactly when it respawns as well with that third eye innate on Fly. So they at least have that to hang back on. But it just feels like they've kind of slept on that lead since finding it. Slept on this timing from Fly. They kind of pull a couple of weird moves of Beyond dying and getting bought. Not ideal. With another BKB use, so he's down to 7 seconds now. Which is still enough for a black hole, but just makes it maybe a little bit harder. If you preemptively pop the BKB first, trying to look for an angle in. There's that full butterfly you were talking about for Satanic, so the output of the Morphling fully online at this point. And they are actually also very aware of Roshan. Has spawned up top. It would be devastating for your Yakult Brothers if it just goes away for free.
Roshan, surely not going to be given away for free here. They're coming over. Here we go, the wraparound. This fight does begin. Who have they got? It's going to be DM first. It's a great start already for Yakult Brothers. Another black hole catching out the Morphling as well. Satanic, he's got 9 class to try and help him out, but is it really going to be enough? I don't think it will be. Satanic, he's still trying. 4-staff away now, but looking to go back towards Fly. Just fighting him against the wall right now. Satanic, he's somehow still alive. They'll go for 9 class instead and take down that pesky Tinker. But 9 class and Satanic, but there's still the really big problems here. Satanic still going, will find Baboka. Moving on to Dakalis again, they'll find the AA at least, and it's still going to be a 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Yakult Brothers. It's a great fight anyway. But my goodness, they just don't seem to be able to deal with this Morphling.
No, not quite. They're doing a great job of isolating away Satanic though. They're focusing all of that single target control, allowing Emo to clean up the sides, allowing Fly to focus on other targets as he realizes the durability of Satanic's a little bit too high. Needs that full MKB to really land a decent set of hits onto that Morph. And they trade nicely. They stop that Roshan from going. They don't manage to take the Roshan themselves, so don't really have time. And you could think about a recontest here on parry. You still have that split on DM ready to go. You've got the Ice Blast back up for Dakalis. Why? Yakult Brothers should be aware though. And they are holding that spot on the cliff up high, using the Illuminate to send some vision in.
There's Roshan, Satanic, able to pick it up. Still a pretty big win here for PARIVISION as Satanic now looking for a fight. We'll have to back off. Fly now does pick up the full MKB, so you might be resolving a lot of the issues you were having with trying to deal with Satanic. That evasion was being a huge nuisance. But still, the Aegis does go the way of PARIVISION, so all that hard work by Yakult Brothers this whole time, and in the end, it feels like PARIVISION are the stronger team all of a sudden here, John. And there's still an AK advantage for the side of Yakult, but PARIVISION are the ones that are moving forward here.
And they are. And again, they're getting that confidence out with just how free of a game Satanic's had. The Fly had an equally free game. He had those early spikes. It didn't feel like Yakult Brothers utilized the earlier spikes of TA to their advantage as much as you'd probably expect. I mean, they took Roshan, they took Tormentor, and they kind of sat in that advantage for a while. And this recovery for PARIVISION is just phenomenal. They still have a lot to play with here on the side of Yakult Brothers. Again, Black Hole's coming out in a few seconds. They've got a little bit of a poke down bot as well, with just Emo committing amp damage on Emo as well. So a lot of output if a fight does break out. But with 2 lives in Satanic, you're hard pressed to find a first life. I don't know if you're going to be able to even find a second life at all here on the Yakult Brothers. It feels like they need something to really lock down. And it just comes back to this draft. Your hard lockdown is as Snowball, Punch to an extent, and Vortex. But nothing to really hold this white team fight outside of the Black Hole, which is really tricky because PARIVISION's been really good in being patient. They're not clumping up for big black holes. You kind of are stuck for Beyond and using that only onto the one hero, which tends to be Satanic. And even if you do that in Satanic, he's just too tanky.
Here we go. Satanic, tier 3 tower. I mean, he's taking a fair bit of damage from Fly, but it doesn't really matter too much. With all the healing in the world, all the shields in the world, still got that Aegis. Satanic, in fact, is waveforming forward. Emo's going to try and zip in, scare him off a little bit, but as soon as Night Class comes back, you know Satanic's perfectly fine to keep this going, as they do jump in now with Baboka. He's got nothing like a kickback, though. And they're out of it. Raindrak's taken, melee barracks have been left. They are not going to overstay their welcome. But yes, PARIVISION's suddenly the stronger team by the seams of it. Just trusting in their carry to pull them through in the end.
And for your Yakult Brothers, they need this big team fight. Right? They need to get the value out from the Enigma. The Black Hole has to catch at least 2 heroes that they can easily pick off and try to dance around that next fight with the damage you have. A smoke on smoke scenario. Low ground position for Parry, though. Could be a little bit tough here.
Life's not going to connect here from no one. They can find a good team fight. They just ride back onto the high ground here, PARIVISION. They barely miss out on Emo, who is smoked up, trying to cut the creep wave for his side. So important Emo doesn't die here because he does not have enough gold for buyback. Nowhere near it, in fact. We'll take a courier out, but they know he's back there somewhere. Now they're jumping in onto Satanic, but Satanic's more than happy to oblige. They'll move in onto Flyfly, who does get tossed back, and Flyfly, he needs some help. He'll try to move out. Satanic's still chasing him down. They will at least get through Carlos, and they do get Flyfly out of there. Flyfly is safe. Now the Black Hole committed. No one gets caught in that one. No cancels to come, but no one is not dying. He is not dying. The defense matrix comes in clutch. They'll try again. Meanwhile, Baboka gets taken down by Satanic. As he continues moving it onto the supports, they'll finally deal with no one. Can they get the Morphling? Satanic's a big problem, but they have got at least the Aegis off him. More buybacks incoming now, but Baboka trying to move back in. They'll miss out on the Morph Walrus Punch though, but Satanic still being chased down here. Still so tanky. Still moving though. Satanic, can he actually turn this? I don't think so. He'll continue moving out, but Emo continues chasing him down as they move in with the Meld Strike now, but Satanic is still not dying. The chase continues though. Surely this time they've got him, and they have finally taken him down. Oh, my goodness. Everything but the kitchen sink at Satanic.
Such a concerted effort, and you're seeing some damage issues coming out here for you Yakult Brothers. Solo Black Hole, even no one doesn't really die. I think a big issue there was that Flyfly was cut off on the right side of that fight. They were fighting closer between the 2 tier trees on mid and bot, so just not in position for that TA to try to hit. He is trying to rectify this damage issue with a Daedalus pickup that could kind of sort some things out, but you are seeing the conditions you need here on the side of Yakult Brothers to win. They need to catch heroes out of the Black Hole. They need to kind of fight around, especially when DM does split up on that Brewmaster. And for the side of Yakult Brothers, it's a little bit scrappy. This does get easier once that Daedalus is up and once the full Ags is up for Emo. I think that's a big turning point. It relieves a lot of pressure from Beyond for that AoE control. It allows the Storm to look for the softer targets in the back if you can plump them up. and it starts to make it manageable.
Nice little freebie there for Emo. The Yakult brothers now looking to be the aggressors once again. Still holding on to that 9k net worth advantage here, and it seems like they're much less afraid than Satanic and that Aegis of God. Now a full Daedalus completed on Fly. Still not looking to try and move high ground at all, though. I think, of course, Yakult, they'll definitely be waiting for the next Roshan attempt before they try that. Emo, zipping in mid, doing a lot of damage here to no one. Does no one really have no help coming? Well, there's 9 class. He'll be alright.
Yeah. Just playing poke and prod. They have to fix their top lane with that range rack's gone, so Fly heads off as well. Well, they aren't fully committing for any of that siege just yet. 5 to 19. Some pollution out by the top Lotus pool. A drop, infused raindrop. Just on the ground.
Unfortunate.
There should be penalties for leaving items on the ground, wouldn't you say? As you can see that swing on our graph as well. That has been going PARIVISION's way, swinging right back to good old Yakult brothers. Off of that great high ground defense fight.
Hold on.
And, yep.
Oh, hold on. The Emo's jumped in again mid lane, and it's a lot of damage on no one who really can't sustain himself too well without that Yule's being thrown out. Think about this, John.
Yeah.
You can plant the iron tree, the iron branches, right? Why does it not provide a puddle when you drop the raindrop? Think about that, John. Why can I not plant a puddle? Or just pour a puddle out?
That is fair. Look at that. 9 class on the Tormentor as well. Satanic solos. You get the Tinker Shard up and running. Good old Warp Flare going. I wouldn't mind that. I don't know if that...
Haven't I, John?
No,
I've broken the Matrix here, haven't I, John? You're trying to change the subject and everything.
I like it. No.
I've said too much.
I like it. No. It's great. Can you imagine Slaughterer getting 2 puddles out?
That's what I'm saying.
He pees himself and he drops his... drops a puddle. It gives AoE magic res. Wow. Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Genius, John.
That's actually so good. Let's do it.
Genius.
Bring it out, Ice Frog. That's what we need. Raindrop to be stronger. That's what we definitely need in this game. Stronger raindrops.
If you could just pour raindrops out and it like slows the enemy for like as they're running through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? You can
That'd
block
be
with
sick.
trees, you can slow with raindrops. I like it.
Yeah, you throw a blood grenade on top, so it's raining what, blood and water.
True.
It's sick. We need a little, like, I know Batrider has a tar bomb, but we need a small neutral item that's like a sticky bomb again. You know, have all of that out. Yeah. How about a little fireball? Like not the dragon,
Black grenade?
an actual. Yeah, something like that. Sure. I have no clue. Oh, Ducalis.
Oh,
that's our
there goes
gameplay
Ducalis.
That's our source of entertainment for 2 minutes. There you go. 29 galvanized stacks. You think that's enough to build a home? Does he still need to take a loan out, Mike? Ollie?
At some point, you've got to stop with these galvanized steel jokes.
It never
Only
gets
you find it funny.
My brain is fully rotted. It's gone to the pits, Mike. You know, I'm going tung 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 sahur insides. My head's gone.
The videos you're talking about as well on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. The galvanized steel guy renovating houses and just somehow always has galvanized steel available at any time. I know that guy. Did you see the one where he built like an extra room on a 23-story balcony or something?
Yeah.
Galvanized steel, dude.
Yeah, I've seen him buy a 0.1 square meter lot in New York. Took out a small loan, borrowed some screws from his aunt, bought some galvanized steel. You're all laughing. It's great. It's an old meme, but it holds up. Holds up, Mike.
The first time I saw it, I did laugh. I'm not going to lie. No one? He's probably not going to be laughing here, John, if he gets caught. He's not going to be happy. TP away, though. Yeah. Oh, he's okay. Baboka getting pretty close to getting that Yules off, but not quite. Ag and Scepter up by for Beyond, by the way. So you've got the Ag's Enigma now, which is kind of cool.
I like seeing that. It's not something we get treated to all too often, but it does help with a catch. That little drag back is nice. A little bit of percent-based damage is also incredibly useful when you stack that up with the Midnight Pulse on Satanic. You have some solutions for that durability of the Morphling at least. 520. If only we could -1 number there for PARIVISION, but alas. 12k advantage as well for the Yakult brothers as they are on the hunt.
I'll jump in, no one. He's been hexed up. He's still alive for now as he will just Wind Waker away. They're looking for 9 class on this Tinker, but he's a very, very pesky hero as the Black Hole is committed. They've got the Morphling with that. Satanic is gone. Satanic getting caught with his pants down by Beyond. Ducalis and 9 class also dying. I don't know if you got the strength morph off. Oh, Emo!
Oh, what a sad face.
The sad face from Emo.
Holy.
You don't all chat Emo, John. How many times have we talked about this?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
they have to go for at least 2,400, 2,200 points, so that's very high placement in a relatively deep playoff run, which means making it into the playoffs as well. And again, with a group stage as compact and brutal as this, every single series counts for climbing your way up from the bottom 4. And I have to see if they can carry through here. For the side of Yakult brothers, for PARIVISION, I mean, you look back at that record from day 1 as well, they did maybe a little bit of a mixed bag. They got a draw against Talon, which you don't expect. You expect that to be a freebie nowadays. Didn't quite work out. They're 1 game down here. See if they can try to draw it as they do smoke and catch Fly at the very least.
Certainly do. Fly going to be obviously pretty okay to just casually walk out of there. He does have the attribute shift if he needs it. I'm going to see a counter smoke now from your Yakult brothers. You don't have the greatest level 1 team fighter unless the PARIVISION boys come to you. You do have an Elder Titan, but in terms of actually locking people down and hitting away, you don't have much in the way of that right now. Look, 9 class gonna also stick around here in this bottom side jungle. But nobody really gonna get caught. Emo gonna run into DM in just a second. And it's going to be a pretty casual start, but a 3-for-1 trade in terms of bounties. So at the very least, PARIVISION do kind of pressure a little bit and do get away with a bit of bonus gold for themselves.
Yeah, going to be a nice injection to play with, a little bit faster timing for that bottle for no one, who is set to have a interesting lane up against Emo on the mid. He does level X-Sword first. There's just a little bit more poke coming out here for Emo. But again, you've got some reach as well for no one. The shield crashes there. The swash eventually, once you hit that level, can be up. Emo is just going to be focusing in on using the Sunstrike to clear out the range creep. So just guaranteeing some level gains here for the Invo. And that can make it a little bit annoying for no one. Again, once you hit like maybe level 3, level 4 there on the Penguin, it should stabilize. And rune control should be a tad bit easier for no one to find. Looking at the other lanes though, a little bit of a scuffle down bot already with Flatflight losing quite a fair bit of HP. And they are getting relatively aggressive early on. I do like seeing that here from DM. Just playing with the initial Iron Shell, shoving out the creep wave, getting a pull back on top. You are going to get punished quite hard with the right-click hits of Ollie.
He's going to go down first, but Boca able to secure first blood. Satanic, he did drain all the mana of Beyond just through right-clicks, but sadly did not have enough to keep it going. So first blood already being drawn here by the side of your Yakult brothers, and it does go to Baboka as Fly bottom lane. Almost getting sniped by a blood grenade from 9 class. He was agi shifting all the way to 1 HP, but thankfully the blood grenade didn't actually connect.
Playing on nice edge, and again, I appreciate how the side of Parry are playing. They're constantly pulling with DM, trying to get some free EXP. They're getting some decent spacing out for 9 class. He opts for the level 1 laser, just to trade with Ollie to ensure that he can't maximize that Astral Spirit right-click damage. And it is making it a little bit hard to utilize that advantage you would have on the Elder Titan with Mischance. The top lane is still a little bit of a rough time for Beyond. Every single time Metamorphosis is up, of course, you don't feel good on that Deuce. You don't have that good presence to isolate Satanic. Maybe by the time you hit like 3-4 on Baboka, it starts to simplify a bit. But there is enough poke here to ensure that Dusa just kind of has to hang back.
A lot of damage by no one being dealt. Of course, no one can prove to be very aggressive here on this Pangolier against this Invoker. And no one Not going to be able to quite finish off the kill, but is sending the message. Lane pretty quiet here. Of course, you're not going to see much action from Ollie and Fly because they're up against a Tinker and a Darkseid. You know, it's not the most fun kind of lane here for the Morphling to try and deal with. So, you know, Ollie going to try and pressure them away, but ultimately you're not going to be getting too much action down bottom, I don't think. Even top, you're looking at Baboka make a massive creep pool, just trying to avoid Ducalis meeting him halfway.
Yeah, they do get the double creep stack up, at least on PARIVISION's end. It's going to be shoving in to their favor. Nice and secure by their tier 1. Maboka will have that soul EXP to kind of trudge up. At the least, they do get Lotus control there for Beyond, so he does have that safety net for himself on the Dusa. And that should be enough to provide that leeway for him to get that build up. It's still been a slow time for Beyond, though. 4 CS on the board. Way behind in comparison to even DM on that Darkseid at 14-1. There's a lot of work to be done here on the side of Yakult Brothers for their off lane. Just a rough start for Dusa.
Oh, just barely no one. Unable to finish him off again. I mean, he just needed one more right click, but he's just out of spells, and with the cold snap applied to no one, he obviously didn't want to dive the tier 1 tower. You are going to have Baboka rotating over to try and be a little bit of a nuisance here against no one. In fact, Ollie's also here, but no one does have the swashbuckle available. Tossed away is still going to be perfectly fine to walk out of there. In fact, 9 class and Ducalis were there on the supports just in case.
Just wanting to try to deny away these water runes. Emo did get the double deny a while ago at the 2-minute mark. Still under pressure, but does have the double null, a little bit more stats to play with. Has the level 2 Quas for some HP region as well. It's not too much in dire straits. Again, you are still having a decent time overall in the lane for PARIVISION. Like this lane for Satanic's a freebie up top. Same thing goes for Fly. He is finding farm, but you're not really suppressing DM. Like we mentioned, like having a Tinker on hand. You can't really just run down that lane. And there is enough sustain and enough poke there to make it a little bit tough. You are still getting the big stacks out for 9 class. Ollie is at least blocking off one cap, but he doesn't fully block it. He doesn't commit for the body block, so that resource has built up. There's going to be a lot of good farm here for DM or for no one to find once they do make their way in, as long as they protect this area. And again, the foundations for the laning start for Parry is solid. Your big weakness still on Yakult Brothers is this Dusa offlane. Like Beyond just hasn't really found much, has no presence, has no farm, has the double nulls though, so a little bit more mana to play with some regen on hand as well can help, but not enough to really stop that Terrorblade, and that could be an issue. Less so about the Terrorblade farming because he will just farm, but the Dusa timing into Meteor Hammer is going to be stalled out from the slower laning start for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very slow start for Beyond. Satanic certainly looking for some revenge after that Game 1 experience. Still 1-0 here, John. 6 minutes in. Maybe we have some action during these power runes, but not even that. Baboka takes an illusion rune for himself. No one gets a little bit unlucky for himself on the Pango, as now Baboka looking to move in with an avalanche toss back. No one did just use his swashbuckle, so he might have to pop that Rolling Thunder to survive this. Chaos Meteor going to land, and no one is actually going to die. Baboka, quick thinking, seeing the swashbuckle was committed, just moves in for the easiest setup of his life.
He does. Might find a bonus here.
Oh, they found a bonus here, Jonathan. 9 class, tossed up. Emo says thank you very much.
Yeah. They even have the opportunity to clear out the stacks as well. They take that large camp going. Not too difficult. What heroes you have. So very happy days so far for your Yakult Brothers. Again, having a great time outside of that off lane. Your farm on Beyond is being almost eclipsed by Baboka, so you're basically looking at what? Almost like a support Dusa at this point, even contesting for the Wisdom Shrine.
They're not going to get it. Ollie does have to walk away, but won't really lose his life anyway. So again, yeah, Yakult Brothers off to a pretty good start. 3-0 their way. Net worth very slightly the way of PARIVISION. I'm pretty sure most of that gold is just on Satanic right now. He's been having a great old time on the TB. fact, all cores on PARIVISION have had a pretty damn good time. No one really struggling in the farm department here for PARIVISION. So they are looking up at top lane to see if they can maybe look to force down this Beyond Medusa. They'll get the shackles off. Beyond still trying to walk away, running pretty low on mana, and no one is looking to cut him off to boot. But Beyond still proving to be a little bit too tanky as no one. Still trying to connect. But Beyond just going to go for a quick TP play and does make it out quite easily. They do at least get Oli on the other side of the map though, as Flyfly still trying to fight here against DM, but does need to waveform out of it.
Not the biggest pick off in the world. More than happy to find it though. A little bit of a gimme there for DM, who already does have that Vanguard up, so slowly building into that durability that we see from the Darkseers. A little bit of a rotation mid. They've had enough of Emo getting a free ride here.
They have. They're going to try, but Provoker's there to back him up. No one is unable to get the Rolling Thunder in time, and now the Chaos Meteor to fall right on top of his head. No one is down again. To Carlos. Oh, at least he's got the chicken. At least he's a chicken, John. You can kill the shaman, but you can't kill the colonel.
No. That you can't. 5-1 start now for your Yakult Brothers, and again, such quick responses out. Such a telegraphed move onto Emo. And they're right on time. This cold snap's just ruining no one's gameplay. Right? Like, he's wanting to roll, he's wanting to try to bail out. All these micro stuns coming in, not doing him any favors. And now his timing into the defusal, it's also stalled out. He's at the point where Beyond isn't that far off from him. 600 gold away for the Dusa. Considering how badly Beyond's lane went, it's not a great sign for no one whatsoever. Their triangle's still constantly being contested as well by Ollie. Not even the free farm recovery here for DM to kind of scale up. Just constantly being poked away. Even a Sunstrike to try to take a creep off. Come on.
Why not? Why not?
Middle tower is under attack.
You gotta do what you gotta do, John. So now a slight net worth lead the way of your Yakult Brothers again, just very, very slight, less than 1k net worth lead, and it does keep bouncing between the two teams. Farm on these pos ones is pretty much on parity as well. Like, Flyfly and Satanic are keeping up with each other pretty much exactly the whole time. You kind of wonder which you'd prefer between the Morphling and the TB here, as Flyfly getting harassed a little bit, but again, they really can't really hope to kill this Morphling like this.
No. I think you would definitely prefer to be the Morphling for sure. Having access to Morph, not being constrained to that hard timer of Metamorphosis yourself, is going to feel pretty liberating for Flyfly. The farming pace is maybe where you could argue about Terribly just being a little bit better with the illusions, but not an issue for Morphling with his mobility either. And again, when you're stalling the game out to be this slow, you're happy enough. You've got Dusa who's going to need to recover. It's a long road out for Beyond to hit that Meteor Hammer timing. You want to scale up on your Invoker as well, going for that Atos that we tend to see. So you're happy playing this game slow. On the side of your Yakult Brothers as well. For Parry, I would say there's a little bit of pressure to hit this point where you are ready to play, right? Like, it kind of hinges more on DM and no one. Like this Diffusal Blade timing along with this full Halberd timing for DM. That's when you start to... That's when you need to get this ball rolling. It's a little bit difficult considering your initiation options. Right? You don't have a highly mobile support. It's not like you're going to get a blink up anytime soon for Ducalis. But you will need to start to find some openings here. They've tried a couple of times in mid. Hasn't really panned out. Maybe when you get that Diffusal, you can start to consider jumping onto Beyond instead. You should, again, still be really squishy without even the Kaya up. He's getting room to try to farm up the stacks, but doesn't really have the damage at this point. Probably just going to be handed over to Flyfly or Emo at this point as well. But again, holding steady, 5-1, going into the 12-minute mark. Clumping up mid again, just a tad bit.
They've tried this on Emo a couple times and it really has not panned out very nicely for PARIVISION. Double damage picked up by Ducalis. Provoker does get a nice avalanche toss combo, but sees too many heroes now, so does look to back off. Nice tornado landing onto DM. They still do catch up Avoka. They'll drop the Chaos Meteor on top to try and help him out, but ultimately PARIVISION do get away with a tiny kill. It is still just a support time. But PARIVISION, they're going to try and maybe turn this into a tier 1 tower take.
Got to reach a little bit of a gambit and Ducalis, but they overstacked their stuns there on the side of Yakult. There's not having a way of canceling off that shackle. Does provide that angle for a bit of a gimme kill as well. Mind you, you are getting a lot of space across the map. Again, there's no contest for Fly. You've got some breathing room now for Beyond on that top lane into the triangle. They've got room now to try to clear out those stacks. Kaya fully done. A recipe for the Meteor Hammer left. Only 200 gold for Beyond. And that's when the Stusa can be a massive nuisance, a massive pain. You've got some push potential that can come true. You've got that added durability from just having the Kaya component on hand. And for the side of Parry, I mean, you do also hit that timing. Full Halberd up, going for the pipe next on DM. They do have some play options here. You've got the Manta coming out for Satanic relatively soon, and the Diffusal for no one who's had a really slow game is finally flying out. So the damage is starting to pile in. Some of the ore is starting to pile on. The issue is, again, that same pressure from the Cult Brothers is also set to go.
They got this time. Gonna be DM trying to run. Chase is on by Fly, and Fly finding himself a nice easy one here on the Morphling. Meanwhile, mid lane, they are jumping Emo, trying to find an opening here onto this Invoker, and they do take him down. Nice big kill here for PARIVISION. Finally finding this pesky Invoker. Mind you, Emo does buy out the full rod of Atos before he does go down, so still gets his item up, but they finally get him, John. They get him once, at least.
And that's a big kill. Again, they've been super focused on mid. That's a great way of revealing that Diffusal Blade pickup on no one. So it allows a little bit of room. Unfortunate that they couldn't use the wards closer towards a tier 1 for a little bit of a siege. Not being able to get the mid-tier 1 probably mitigates the pain of that for the side of the Yakult Brothers just a bit, but they are still set to go. Smoke out, regen rune on hand for no one. Trying to set their eyes bot. They don't quite have the Rolling Thunder, so this might be a little bit trickier, but you still have the Shadow Shaman that can come in and ruin Fly's day.
Bottom, Fly. Getting Shackwood up. Nice avalanche here from Baboka to try and buy a bit of space for Fly, but he's still got to try and find his own way out of here. Comes Satanic to really add salt to the wound as Fly just looks at the corner. Just gets put in naughty time. Doesn't know what else to do. That's a big one. And now Satanic, it allows him to really start to claim a big advantage in the net worth disparity between these two. So they'll move into that Tormentor as well while they're at it. Thankfully, no Keeper of the Light to give it to, but we do have a Tinker, John. No problem.
It still goes to him as well. It's always the annoying shards, isn't it? Every single time. You have to appreciate Satanic just getting that good read, getting himself into that outpost gate, just making his way across the map to help join. And they do lose their mid-tier 1 over that, so you do manage to get that siege you're looking for on side of your Cult Brothers. And they tried to pressure Beyond, at least forcing out the Stone Gaze after he sieges up that top tier 1. So you did trade 2 towers for that Tormentor objective. See if they can gun for a little bit more, as the side of the Cult Brothers are still wanting to play aggressive. It's just without that blink and Baboka, it can be a little bit tough.
They're moving in. Ducalis is actually already almost dead, but he catches Fly with a Shackwood. Fly! Oh no, he never got the strength morph off, so Ducalis actually walks away with his life intact and gets the kill onto him, as now they'll move on a Beyond and see if they can find somebody else. In fact, Emo also in danger. But Baboka does go down to boot. Beyond will make it. So will Emo. But it's a 2-for-0 trade in the favor of PARIVISION. And I mean, things are starting to look tougher and tougher now for your Yakult Brothers. They're not really able to find a successful team fight after that 10-minute mark.
No. It's been really difficult for them. I think Fly is just playing a little bit too aggressive. He's not respecting that great hold from Ducalis. Right? Like, again, you have to respect that he's got a little bit of a window with the chicken finger that comes out with the right click, and then leading into the chain stuns that can come out afterwards, but nothing defensive just yet, not even the Manta done on Fly. It is a very perilous spot to be in to play aggressive. They are going out with another smoke for Baboka and Beyond. And they've got the damage there with a Sunstrike. Just need to find the right target. DM might be a little bit too tanky, though. And too fast.
Still waiting here. Seems like they have a bit of a... Oh, they were watching Fly down at bottom, but looks like he's just going to waveform north. Ducalis being a big thorn in the side of this Morphling this game. Satanic still having a lovely old time on the TB. The Yakult brothers kind of sitting back and just farming at this point because they understand they've kind of lost control of this game too. But Beyond eventually going to make his way back down to ensure that that remains defended. PARIVISION in a pretty nice spot to just chill out for a little bit if they do want. Two-man smoke is committed. No one. He's going to move in with the shield rune now. Stomp out does catch at least 9 class, but that doesn't mean too much. PARIVISION looking to set up for this mid-tier 1 tower. And looks like they'll have it. Just the ward drop. There's no defense to come. Yeah, YB, they understand they can't really stick around here.
Yeah. Playing it safe, they understand in your Yakult brothers they still need time to build up. Again, this timing for Fly thrown off by the couple of deaths he's had, playing aggressively with his team. Does have the Manta Vlads fully done, going for the Dragonlance next. But this is the window where your Terrorblade is a lot stronger. Right, like, Satanic's had some really good early activity. He's going for his own Diffusal to kind of take care of the Dusa and to an extent the Morphling as well, who does not enjoy his Mana Drain. In fact, Fly again.
Oh. Well, that's not what you want to see if you're Yakult brothers. And now they're looking for more. Beyond, he's still farming bottom lane. Ducalis doesn't really have the blink yet. It's actually on the courier coming his way, but it may not matter anyway because Beyond's moving very slowly. And Ducalis eventually will find him, gets the Hex out, looking for the Shackle. With the Metamorphosis follow-up damage, we'll see if Beyond can find a way out of this scenario. He'll pop the Stone Gaze, he'll try to get away, he's completely out of mana. Somehow he actually ends up petrifying the Terrorblade from a mile away, and Beyond actually makes it. They don't get there in time for the TP cancel. How about that?
It's kind of ridiculous just how tanky Adusa is. With the Atos, Meteor Hammer, and 2 nulls, more than enough HP and mana. Sustain true. But you're still in really bad game state for your Yakult brothers, right? Like, yeah, you're bailing out. You're stalling this game out. Fly is just... He can't afford to die like that. This Morphling needs so much to go toe-to-toe with that Terrorblade. And again, he can go toe-to-toe. We have seen the output of the Morphling just skyrocket, especially if you manage to work yourself into that Butterfly. It just feels like that's way too far away for them to even find at this point. And that's where all of your damage is coming in from. We are seeing Emo work into the Ags now, just lacking 1 port, about 220 gold away. So you will have that Cataclysm to play with. Although you don't really have the best setup for it, it can still be a huge threat in these fights. Of course, the added levels in Exort can also feel pretty damn nice. Added levels onto all of your little orbs there.
Here we go again. Ducalis, he's found a Hex onto Baboka. Tornado going to cancel the Shackle follow-up. Baboka, though, still in a lot of danger as it seems like they're just going to leave him behind. And no one's found Beyond as well on the Medusa. Beyond, rather, Baboka finally goes down, but there goes 9 class being taken out by the Cataclysm of Emo. And that's it. A 1-for-1. It seems as though PARIVISION, however, going to try and force Roshan, which is already very low. And it does not seem like Yakult are going to be interested in trying to defend. No. But they do get some stomps off here to try and delay things a little bit thanks to Ollie, but it's not going to be making the difference.
No, and their game hinges on when Fly is ready to go. Like, there is no way you're coming in with enough damage to burst anyone down. Your output on Emo is pretty nice. It's not like he's at the point where he can stand and fight as that semi-core, let's say the right clicks going on. Mainly still utility right now at this point in the game. Catch him out, though.
Certainly do. Ducalis once again catching another great target in Emo. And Emo cannot get away from it. PARIVISION now in complete control. Looking for that tier 2 bottom tower, and I imagine they have no problems taking this, John. I don't see a defense to come here from your Yakult brothers. They're all split up. There'll be a tier 2 tower for free, and Well, at the very least, PARIVISION, they probably won't try for a tier 3 yet. That's the good news if you're Yakult brothers.
Yeah. You're going to have to wait for the next metamorphosis to be up at this point. Less than half duration on this one. But you are shrinking that map. And it's a map that Yakult brothers needs to have as wide as possible to sustain this farm they are desperately trying to find. Right? Like, you don't have anything on Beyond outside of his utility. Emo is doing some good damage, but can't really stand up front yet. Fly is going back for the BKB. So there might be some damage issues again as this game goes on. They catch one at least.
Certainly do.
Although,
it's Fly is the problem, John. I don't know if it's at least here. Fly. Yeah, this is the guy you really can't afford to see dying like that. But Fly, just in the middle of nowhere, dying once again to PARIVISION. No buyback, of course, on the Morphling. And yeah, you really can't afford this any longer. Like, Satanic's pulled their head way too much now in front of the Morphling. And of course, he is now starting to approach that Skadi timing, which is when it starts to feel really impossible for Morph to fight back against TB.
that it does. I think Yakult brothers were just trying to kill off 9 class. They were the ones being aggressive. Fly did have his supports around. He had the Boba. They just don't have the damage. And he's stuck with Manta Dragonlance. There's no output there. With that Vlad's going into BKB, there's not going to be output for a while. And have to be cautious. They are smoked up, maybe here.
Satanic, I mean, that's a lot of damage on Satanic. Emo still does a crap ton of damage on this Invoker. So Satanic losing the Aegis. Here comes the Cataclysm, but the Force Staff away. We'll save for now as DM tanking all that damage. DM will die for the cause. 9 class running, Beyond on the chase. They'll have more stomps incoming, but they are out of range now. The Baboka with a very nice avalanche toss back onto Satanic, back into Beyond. Can they lock this TB down? The body blocks Baboka. Even as a chicken, he's blocking it. But Satanic still runs out of there. No one finds Emo in the meantime. Can they at least find this Pango? No one, still making it hard. Now the defense matrix comes in, so he's still going to survive. The Satanic metamorphs this up, moving back into the fight, looking for Beyond, who's being body blocked by an illusion now. He'll get rooted up on Satanic. Beyond, he just cannot get away. Look at the micro from Satanic. He'll leave him alone eventually, but he turns his attention to Fly instead, who just needs to get the hell out of there. There goes Baboka.
That is just ridiculous.
So even in a good fight, it still feels like PARIVISION just keep coming out on top.
I mean, their small plays are just so insanely impactful. That Force Staff coming out from 9 class to save Satanic. Satanic turning back with his Hurricane Pike to save 9 class, stalling that fight into the ramp area by the dire side tier 1. Completely away from any area of control for the side of the Yakult brothers. It's just such a big challenge. And you don't have the best damage output. I mean, they kind of blew out their salvo on that first life of Satanic. Second life, trying to bank on that Cataclysm, just not enough. And again, just great movement out. 9 class on point. Gets that first Force Staff usage, then gets Force Staff by Satanic when they tried to chase down afterwards. And they were doing a lot of good things on Yakult brothers as well. The blocks from Baboka were nice. Just where's the damage coming in? Fly's trying, but his output just isn't where you'd want that Morphling to be at this point. You'd want him to have a Butterfly. You'd want him to have more Agi to play with, to shift around with. It's just, he's had such a slow game. He's had a couple of rough fights, and it's biting Yakult brothers in the bum. 9-12, 12k lead for Parry. They've got the map under control. A little bit of an aggressive movement out from the Yakult brothers to hunt, using the Cataclysm to scout, but not really finding anything for their luck. Another Tormentor to go the way of Parry now as well. And for Yakult brothers, their scaling's really just stuck on Fly. To a certain extent, you could argue that Beyond can also kind of scale up here, but he is also just so far behind. Still 10k net worth, matching the farm of 9 class on this Tinker. Tinker has as much farm as the enemy offering. It's never a good sign when that's the case, although this could be nice.
9 class, I mean, it's something for sure. Bit of an opening to at least push in this tier 2 mid tower for Beyond. See how concerned PARIVISION are though. It doesn't really seem like they flinched too much after seeing 9 class die. PARIVISION slowly starting to move their way through the top lane. Of course, next Roshan going to be ultra important for both these sides, but it's still going to be a while away before we see him popping his head up. Thing is as well, like, if Emo's allowed to land these combinations on this TB, we've seen how fast Satanic can just die. Just to Emo's damage output, so you've got to be pretty cautious if you're him.
He is taking a risk by just not getting anything defensive beyond the Manta. Arguably, the Hurricane Pike could count as a little bit of a defensive item. There is that safety net still with a pushback. And they've got that easy siege as well with the illusion spam and the shaman wards coming down. So they do have that free poke. But the side of Yakult brothers, I mean, don't really care. They did have to pop the BKB and fly to bail him out as he was being jumped down. But that's one charge down already on the fresh BKBs. Fresh BKBs have not had a good time in this series, Mikey.
They have not. They have not. Doesn't really matter though too much. Don't we have a smoke up now? Yakult brothers. Through the mid lane they'll go. Gleipnir now available for Emo. Gonna find DM. Nice little jump in from Baboka. Avalanche toss will be successful. DM trying to get that surge off. Not able to yet. Still trying to run. Cataclysm to come in though. DM actually still alive. He doesn't end up dying throughout all of that. So he walks out of there scot-free. PARIVISION, they have to expend maybe a Metamorphosis, but that's about it. Wall was dropped, but who the hell cares about that? And ultimately, nobody dies. Here we go again. No one's jumped in now. Trying to find himself a target. He'll move on to Ollie. He'll ignore Flyfly because it's been a bit of a harder target to go for. Take down Ollie instead. You got the Otter Titan down now for 30 seconds. Maybe they can hope for a really quick Roshan respawn. Maybe even a tier 2 mid tower.
And they have a lot of room in what they want to do. The big threat of Cataclysm is gone. It's a pretty damn long cooldown to have to expend here for Emo. And it is a lot of their damage early on. It's very concerning that you can't even blow up DM. To be fair, DM didn't have any other heroes next to him to get additional chances for Sunstrikes to stagger on top of each other. So maybe not the best circumstance to try to go for the solo play, but it's the only one they have here outside of Yakult brothers so far. They are reliant on just looking for that quick pick-off. They are slowly reaching the point where damage will flow through for Flyfly. He is queuing up the butterfly very far away from that, but eventually once that's up, that can start to cause some issues here with how tanky he can be and how much he can pump out if he does get the right form at the right time. Satanic is trying to go back for the full Bloodtorn first before going for the Scotty. So again, that window for the Morphling is still a little bit more open than you'd expect it to be at this point in the game, 30 minutes in. For the side of Yakult brothers, though, every single fight's just a challenge. This durability of DM with the pipe, with the Guardian Greaves, and having that halberd on top, just making it difficult to find these burst windows for the side of Yakult brothers. Like, they have to look further back. You have to kind of bank on support kills. Like, if you kill Ducalis, I'd say that's very worthwhile.
Here we go. Gonna find themselves Baboka. A nice easy target for PARIVISION. Roshan still not respawned yet. Will be within the next minute and 20 seconds. PARIVISION just kind of keeping the map on lockdown here. Still looking to maybe pressure that mid-tier 2 tower. Well, here comes Satanic to help out. And this time, I mean, Ollie can slow this down as much as he wants, but it seems like they are well and truly committed to going after this tier 2 tower and maybe even a tier 3, but Roshan is officially now respawned. So it might be about time for PARIVISION to go have a gander in the Roshan pit. Go for that instead. All the other lanes are protected anyway. Like, you've got to support Tinker. They're not pushing in anything, John. You ain't getting nowhere.
No. There's no way. Terrible illusions just flying around as well to keep things shoved out. Give some vision out. And just straight into the Roche. Full Bloodtorn for Satanic. Scotty to follow afterwards. the side of Yakult Brothers should know that's going on with the Roar. Issue is, can they find an angle for this fight? Baboka has to be able to find a good avalanche to set things up. Follow through with that Gorgon's Grass here from beyond somehow.
PARIVISION. Waiting. I mean, the Roshan attempt was very slow, but it was only Satanic that was moving in. Your Yakult Brothers not moving an inch either. They're just holding that Radiant jungle. The PARIVISION maybe looking to try and set up for a fight before the pit. Bring 9 class in with them. I don't see a smoke on anyone though, so it's a bit awkward for them to try and wrap around. At least for PARIVISION. Seems like it might be the same kind of affair here for your Yakult Brothers, just nobody's holding a smoke. Hoping to see somebody show up down to that bottom lane, but nobody goes there either. Flyfly just sending some illusions in.
I mean, you're at the point where that butterfly for Flyfly isn't too far off. Just lacking that Talisman of Evasion, 600 gold away. He's going to have time to get it. Again, you didn't opt for the Scotty early on Satanic. He did bank on Bloodtorn, maybe trying to punish some lack of defensive items up here. You're going for that long wrap on the smoke now for Parry. He's still hugging the Roche here on your Yakult Brothers. No one really find to pick off unless they divert all the way up top to Emo, but a long line drawn. Want to get the rear flank through the bottom part of that bot jungle. Could be devastating here.
Could be. He'd spot out Ollie. Be a nice kill to get, because it would ensure they can just go for Roshan much easier. They're dealing with these Echo Stomps, but a nice toss back here from Baboka. Has already found two Carls, but they can't finish him off. And now the back wall landed on 3 targets, and they are just melting on your Yakult Brothers. Flyfly, Ollie, and Baboka all just deleted in an instant. Now they're going to find another. Beyond also caught out. Beyond nowhere to go but down. And hell, screw Roshan, John. Maybe it's just time for high ground.
Yeah. We still got a decent chunk of that Metamorphosis ready. No buyback for Flyfly, as he did buy out the full Butterfly. Less than a minute without your Morph. Not completely over here. For the side of the Yakult Brothers, you are getting a decent job with Emo just shoving up top. So stalling out at least. But they're going to have this access point mid. There's not much you can do. Mind you, this is where the defense of Yakult Brothers can be quite nice. There is Avalanche Toss. There's these toss back potentials from Baboka as he respawns up. You do have that BKB for Emo. The issue has been finding these angles. You need to find a way to catch them out here.
Sure do. Cataclysm. Oh, it's a lot of damage being dealt. Maybe no one will burn out, and he does. It's the thing, like the damage isn't lacking. The issue is how you're going to land that damage. They're jumping in now into 9 class, but here comes Ducals to try and back him up. Baboka's been caught. Vac is onto 3. Satanic, though, does not have meta to play with, so they will kill Baboka anyway. Flyfly's trying to move in to find something for his team. His 9 class does look like he's going to get left behind, but gets a Ghost Scepter off before he does die. And Ducalis will also drop. So they get away with 1 lane of barracks. They get away with an extra range barracks. But they do end up getting a few kills on the way out.
Yeah, it's a decent enough hold from the side of the Yakult Brothers, and that's going to set them up nicely. Because Roche was left, they have this big objective to help them out here. Give that coverage for Flyfly, considering that, again, he bought out. He's 1,200 away from full buyback. He's going to have the safety net now with a secondary life and a Roche banner if they can somehow sneak their way up. BM, though, just trying to be a nuisance with that back wall. Doesn't manage to get the big one and the timing right. So it will still go the way of the Yakult Brothers. Maybe a little bit hasty there for Parry. If you went for Roche first, you wouldn't be in the circumstance. You know, 2 lives is... It's maybe not amazing for Satanic, considering he's a transformation hero. But it can still at least make Yakult Brothers think twice. Now, they are set to get some damage in. Like you mentioned, the issue was getting the position to get the damage out. Now it's a lot easier when you've got that damage in your Morphling. You can rely on the right clicks to pierce through. You don't need to worry too much about having to nail this big control with the grasp, having to nail it with the Gleipnir, the Avalanche Toss, the Stomp, the setup. Your Morphling can clean up if that combination with the Invoker doesn't line up. The issue is your Morphling is a little bit glassy, right? Like, the moment that Blink Hex comes in from Ducalis, you're just dead. You don't have anything like Linken's. You have to be able to react quick enough from Vision alone. Tormentor is taken out by the side of PARIVISION, and they will get a ton of gold each with that bonus with all of them already having a shard. Just widening that net worth lead up at 17k right now. The Yakult Brothers, though, again, you can't count them out, but it does feel like they need to take that kind of fight twice over here, Mike, to equalize the game and hope for an opening. Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, they've got him again, John. At least he has the Aegis. Rolling Thunder, though, perfect from no one. Beautiful timing. Fly at least getting the BKB off. Can try to fight, but where's he going? Ducalis is the target. They'll at least get the Shaman first. Cataclysm committed, not really connecting on too much. Baboka, though, jumping in with an Avalanche Toss, finding DM, but he gets the Vac wall off in time. Fly now, actually just getting taken up by his own illusion. Needs some help. Fly's running, but it's not quick enough. Satanic's got him again. He's got at least buyback available. DM looking for more targets. Going to punch back the Medusa. Beyond will be going down to boot. Both heroes have buyback, but now Ollie in danger. Ollie to go down as well.
It's a nightmare hold now. The side of the Cult Brothers. At least Metamorphosis does fade away, but Demon's Heal is still available here. You don't have that combo lined up.
No one. Oh, is there. Looks like they are going to make... Oh, Satanic! Stay and like last. They're both down. Emo. Once again. Having all the damage in the world of this Invoker ends up holding onto this high ground.
That was a little bit insane from Emo. Walks up BKBs. Had the refreshed right on time. And they get some good punishment. They get a little bit over eager on parry. Maybe not expecting that last minute refresh orb out from Emo. They managed to stall out and allow the buyout for Fly. Does finish up the Hurricane Pike. A little bit more value from the Dragonlance slot. Some ways of trying to bail out. I'm a bit surprised he's not opting for the shard. It does feel like if he manages to attribute shift when he's stunned up, could be enough time for him to actually stay alive, get the BKB off, try to play back, and get some hits in. Let's see if that's something he considers down the line here for Fly. 16-22. The game is still heavily in favor of PARIVISION, but the Yakult Brothers have managed to, again, do a great job in holding out here, giving themselves some opportunities and some time to try to solidify their ground. They still need to find like 2 good fights in a row, though. Like, this game is not equalizing unless you manage to catch PARIVISION out twice in a row. And I'm just not seeing that. They take one fight, PARIVISION wins the next, and suddenly you're back to square one. You don't have that equalizing moment for the side of the Yakult Brothers. For Parry, they play this game really smart. Like, 9 Class has been so on point. His usage of the Warp Flare to drag people around, a little bit ridiculous. Emo?
Emo getting caught for a second, but Baboka is there to save the day. Is Emo going to get the Chaos Meteors down? Going the wrong way, though.
Oh.
And Emo's just going to get deleted now. Meanwhile, Colonel Sanders, John, he's still alive. He's got the ability for chicken.
Yeah.
He can't die.
Oh. Yeah, did you know, I read an anecdote before. Chicken's head was cut off and the body was still running around for quite some time.
Yeah.
That's him right now. That's Shadow Shaman, except his head grows back. It grows back. What a great hero. Do you remember how much I was complaining about Shadow Shaman months ago when no one was picking it? God damn.
Yes.
So annoying. I hate this.
You called it good. Well done.
Hey, at least he doesn't hex his own allies now. That's a good change. It was worse before.
I guess.
I'll hand Valve that.
Midrax. The TB Illusion's getting the job done. First up will be committed a bit. Oh boy, Baboka.
Oh.
Trying for the toss back and now the Vac wall as well. Catching Fly and beyond. Forcing the Stone Gaze committal. Buybacks from Emo and Babokas. No one actually ends up going down. An opening once again now for your Yakult brothers to try and abuse. They will at least have themselves a big cataclysm coming in, only landing on one. Sadly, though, as 9 class does go down. They find Ducalis as well. Can they keep going for more? DM actually moving right back into Fly, trying to snipe him, but he's been caught in a cataclysm to boot. In a big tornado, landing on 3 targets, but there's no real follow-up. In fact, there is a follow-up to it. Avalanche is out, but Baboka not able to get the job done. Needs to run, so does Fly, but they catch him again with the super punch, and they've got him. It looks like Fly's still running. Satanic, oh, he got him. They've got him down. No buyback.
Yeah, that's... I don't know how you hold this one. If you're on your Yakult brothers right now, you don't have your Kata, you use your refresh up in Emo. There's no damage unless Emo somehow lands an amazing meteor combination back-to-back.
I'll make it hard as humanly possible here beyond just holding high ground slowly but surely, but really does feel like all the way to the world here is onto Emo. Try and find a way to make this work. But it's 3 versus 5. It's not exactly a very nice position for him. So now Mega Creeps online. Tier 4 towers looking to be taken down here by Satanic. No one ready to jump in with a Rolling Thunder whenever he needs to. They're just trying to buy more time for Fly to be back up. Ancient those under siege. They've got to go soon. Like, you've only got a little bit more time left. They're going to try now. Cataclysm and Chaos Meteors being dropped, but they're not really connecting. The 4 stars will pay off. No one in the meantime just holding everyone else back with the Rolling Thunder. They do toss back at least DM. DM will die to the fountain. They'll look for more now. Onto Satanic they'll go. Problem is Baboka has already died. There'll be no real toss back here from the TB. Beyond will scare them off with the Stone Gaze, but now that that's over, nothing to be afraid of apart from maybe Fly who's making his way up. They still want that Ancient here. Satanic, he hasn't backed off, but Fly, he's looking to move in and try for this. Satanic, though, being forced up out by 9 class, will be okay. As they look to move in once again, the vac wall has been dropped onto 2 targets. Ducalis, he's going to be picking up Ollie here as Ducalis might finally die on the Shaman. Satanic, though, moving back in. Will look to be on, but Satanic's dropping low. He's got to watch out for Fly, who's chasing him down.
Oh,
a thunder. Fly. Oh, he could have finished the job. He could have finished the job. Oh, that's it. GG's called. They've got nothing left in the tank. It will be a 1-1 between Yakult brothers and PARIVISION to finish off this best of 2 series.